And Sonia is here.
Less antique.
Less antique. No, just looking perfect. Looking perfect. We want to start with budget reaction. Of course, it's in all the papers. It's been all the papers for the last few weeks. You had Rachel Reeves on your show, Nick. How was she?
Buoyant, I think. She's had some pretty ugly headlines. Her problem is she was effectively speaking to two different audiences, the listeners to my show and the viewers of this programme, and her own Labour backbenchers, where, and Sonia, I'm sure, will come in on this with her political antennae, there has been a degree of restlessness. So she was playing to two audiences. More on Labour in a moment. She said that they were tough decisions. She stood by her pledge not to raise taxes. Now, we can go into what she has done, moving people, what are called, into this salary threshold. What does that mean? Well, if you're in a low income now, £20,000 or whatever it might be, you are now going to be taxed. Around 780,000 people who weren't going to be taxed are now going to be taxed. But she points to what she claims as the results of this, in that the NHS waiting lists are coming down, that the growth figures by the OBR, and maybe more on that later, the growth figures by the OBR are predicting 1.5, which, while it isn't great, is better than we are now, and if we attain 1.5, actually it puts us on a par or above most of Europe. So those are the positives she was selling, but there is a slew of negative headlines, which is pretty much, if it moves, tax it.
And of course, there was that leak from the OBR just before she stood up in the House of Commons to give the big speech. I know you spoke to her about that. What did she say?
Well, this is, I mean, it's been the most extraordinary period of leak, counter-leak, brief and counter-brief, even with, and I'm sure you probably remember this, your viewers will, as recently as early this month, she held a breakfast time press conference to indicate that she was going to put 2p on tax, and then that never happened. And then I've never known anything like it, that about 45 minutes prior to the Chancellor getting up and delivering her budget, it is put out by the Office of Budget Responsibility. The phone is handed to her. You see her there, handed to her by one of her Labour colleagues, and she sees that all the details, the Office of Budget Responsibility, so they are the ones who effectively mark Rachel Reeves' homework. The information she's reading there, if you're savvy, you could go to the markets and you could make a lot of money. You could buy, you could sell, you could do whatever. So she was, I asked her just how angry she was. I asked her a rating of 1 to 10. I didn't get a rating, but she could use the word incandescent. But she says she's had a full apology from the OBR and she has confidence in the organisation. But it was, I've never seen a blunder like it in all the years I've been covering these sort of stories.
We've got a clip of you asking her that exact question, Nick, because I think it is fascinating. It's a real insight into Rachel Reeves and how she struggles to deal with questions she's not expecting. This is how she reacted to your question.
On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being incandescent, how angry were you at yesterday's leak?
I mean, look, I found out about it when I was in the House of Commons chamber. It is clearly unacceptable that the Office of Budget
But I wanted a number from you,
published
Chancellor. You're good on numbers. 1 to 10, 10 being incandescent. Where were you on the anger scale?
Well, look, I was at the higher end, Nick.
The higher end.
Vague enough.
It's fascinating, isn't it? What was your reaction to it, Sonia? Because I think, as lots of people, as Nick has said, it's a budget for her backbenchers, and then there's a budget for the viewers of this morning, the listeners to Nick's show.
Yeah. Well, so my view of it is that where Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer have got into hot water is they went into the last election saying there aren't any difficult trade-offs to be made here. Vote for us. We will fix the economy. That will deliver more tax revenues naturally. We will fix the NHS. We'll give schools new playgrounds, etc., etc. The issue that they've got is they've got into government and the economy is not growing. And lots of people, including me, thought they were a bit silly to sort of say that to voters going into the last election because no one knew where the growth was going to come from. We've got an economy that has got long-term structural issues. It's had very poor rates of growth since 2008. Living standards have been flat. And it didn't seem like Labour actually had a plan to turn that around very quickly. In fact, I think it's pretty much impossible to turn around in a couple of years. So this is why she's had to break that. I mean, she says she hasn't broken the manifesto promise because she hasn't increased income tax rates, you know, the proportion of your income you pay in tax, you know, whether it's sort of the basic rate or the higher rate. But by freezing the thresholds for some more years on top of what the Conservatives had already done, more people are going to be paying more tax. Now, lots of your viewers will think, That's a tax rise. And the reason she's had to do that is because the economy isn't growing in the way that she and Keir Starmer hoped. So when it comes to doing things like, for example, taking 450,000 children out of child poverty, which is, I think, a really good thing to be doing.
Yes,
We've all heard the stories about, children rocking up at school with dirty school uniforms because their parents can't afford to wash them. So, or hungry. So I think it's the right thing to do. But it means she's had to put taxes up to pay for it. So this is why she hasn't, I think, kept to the spirit of her manifesto pledge, because she was just hoping the economy was going to magically grow, and it hasn't.
Where does it leave her, Nick?
It leaves her safe for now. There's a lot of commentary that if this one doesn't work, this will be her last budget. It keeps the fractious Labour MPs for whom the two-child benefit cap, that really was one of the golden ticket, one of their big aims. And that's, if you recall, those viewers who were watching it or listening to it yesterday, that's what got the biggest cheer. So she shored up her time and Sir Keir's time. The big one now is, and Sonia knows this as well as I do, it often takes 24, 48 hours for a budget to unravel, a Cornish pasty tax or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
There'll be, hopefully there's not one of those, but through the main figures and letters she gave out, she's in a good place until the local elections, which of course that falls to the whole Labour hierarchy.
That's May next year, isn't it?
May next year,
Sorry,
local
May next year.
elections, Welsh elections, Scottish elections. Everyone in the Labour Party know that is crunch time for Keir Starmer.
OK,
Right.
well, that's looking forward in crunch time. What about looking forward and reversing time?
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Apparently that's what Simon Cowell is doing. That's what he's doing. He's revealed that his secret to ageing backwards is washing his blood before then putting it back into his body. It sounds quite extreme.
Yes, let's say that. So this is an amazing technology that doctors have developed to treat people with very serious medical conditions. But it seems like Simon Cowell is sort of doing it for cosmetic reasons, I suppose. So
Or
he's
health
going...
and well-being reasons, not just cosmetic. It's because he wants to feel good.
I think it's important to say this is going to be extremely expensive, so out of reach for many Morning View viewers. But also, I don't think there's any scientific evidence to sort of back it up. I mean, people do all kinds of things. There are other things that people do. Some people, for example, I think have their, their blood taken out and sort of,
Cyclists,
famously.
Yes,
exactly.
Cyclists in the Tour de France, they would remove their blood, they'd spin it and then put it back in. It was a way of getting around anti-doping as well, wasn't it?
Exactly. I don't think that there's medical evidence to back this, and I think it does go far. The one thing I will say, though, is this technology is amazing, and I've been subject to a form of it because I'm a plasma donor.
Okay.
And when you go and give plasma rather than blood, you're hooked up to this amazing machine, and what it does is it extracts your blood and it filters out the red blood cells, puts them back and takes out the plasma.
Right.
So I think it's a very similar technology, but it's amazing. So
How does
definitely
it-
a
how
plug
does
for
it make you
plasma
feel?
donation. Oh, fine. It's like giving a blood. It's totally fine. You're just hooked up to the machine for about, I think it's about 20 minutes.
Nick, reverse ageing is a craze sweeping through the super wealthy. Have you jumped on board the train yet, my friend?
Well, Kat,
Our
speaking
antique,
as...
our resident antique.
Yes, speaking as Ben Shepherd's favourite old tool or whatever, I can say... I can say...
As we talk about...
I'm not against the odd tweakment. I mean, these teeth, these are all enhanced and whatever it might be. I've not had, but I can understand why people have Botox or the odd nip and tuck. My concern here is, and I'm not one to criticise it, and if it's making him feel well and it's doing him, good luck to him. No one should tell anyone else how to live their life. But the idea you're doing something that normally is used for people who have kidney failure, autoimmune disease, severe liver failure, and you're having it done almost routinely. Again, I'm not one to criticise him. If it prolongs his life and it keeps him and his family and his son happy, good luck to you, Simon. For me, it's something I would balk at, but, good luck to the man. I'm not telling him not to do it. I just find it pretty on the extreme.
Yes, it certainly is. And as Kat was saying, it's exceptionally expensive as well. One of the things I would quite like to do occasionally is be able to take out my memory, give that a quick wash, put it back in and go, where on earth did I park my car? Because I don't know how many times I've done it, when you come out of somewhere, you go into and am I on the right floor of this car park or whatever? But apparently, Nick, we spend 3 days of our lives trying to find our own vehicles.
Don't laugh so loudly, Nick, because I've done this for sure. Go on.
Well, speaking as Ben Shepherd's favourite old tool, I sometimes have memory memory lapses now. No, why do you think I've bought myself an enormous black Jeep? Because I am so sick and tired of walking out of Sainsbury's or Asda or Waitrose or whatever. Oh, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. If you've got one of these giant things, and it really is a big car, then you can find it. And then, of course, it got stolen in May. But never mind, there we go. At least it got stolen from the drive.
1 in 20 people, Sonia, have resorted to asking shop security guards to check the CCTV footage to see if they can find the car. Have you ever mislaid?
Well, you see, I don't drive, so
Okay.
I don't have this problem. What I would do, though, if I were a driver, I think I'd go for a really unusually coloured car.
Yes.
Maybe one of those cars with different coloured panels.
Yes.
You know, the
So you can always
doors
spot it.
So you can always spot it. Why not do that?
You've done it, haven't you?
I've done it.
Have
I've
you?
done it before. I have to always take pictures of where I am in the car park. If I'm in a really big car park, I have to take pictures of it. I've left my handbag on top of it and driven away. I once went back to my house. I'm very stressed and harassed with 2 young boys running around. I once went back to my house and told my brother that I'd actually had my car stolen. I hadn't. I'd just forgotten where I'd parked it and walked up and down the street several times.
And then went back with a taxi
went
and found
back
it.
and finally found it, yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
How absent-minded
Well,
we are.
Kat, you talk about the stresses of parenting. Don't forget the time that David, now Lord Cameron, once left the pub and he left his daughter there because he was so stressed. He went home without his daughter. He found his car and forgot his daughter.
It could be worse, couldn't it? You're absolutely right.
Thank
Nick.
you for
Thank
visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.